Hello, my fellow Premier League fans. Welcome into another episode here of EPL on Pub, here on Pub Sports Radio. We're here to obviously preview match week number 7 coming up here in the Premier League. It's midweek right now. Some of these teams are involved in Champions League. They'll also be involved in Europa League, so we got to take that in consideration. He's Matt. I'm Jason. We'll be going through everything. How's it going there, Matt?
Well, Liverpool are in the Champions League, but they're acting like they should be in the Europa League. That's kind of how the start of the season has been. I mean, down 3-0 right now to Napoli. Joe Gomez really did have one of the worst center back kind of displays that I've seen. And from a top somebody that's actually he's good. He's won the league before in the Premier League. Wow, I just cannot believe it. Napoli were all over him. Didn't like Liverpool's lineup, so I mean, thankfully I didn't have a wager on the game at all. But I mean, just still, I would have never said that they'd be down 3-0 right now.
Crazy stuff going on right now in the Premier League. Other crazy stuff that we'll get to here in a little bit. We've got those comment sections up. We're hanging out with you guys live here on Pub Sports Radio. Drop it in the comments. Let us know what some of your bets are. Let us know what some of your leans are, or let us know what some of your big reaction is. Because right off the bat, we get Fulham versus Chelsea, where, hey, at least you haven't sacked your manager, Matt, like Chelsea has. Thomas Tuchel out. I literally kind of laughed out loud this morning when I read it in bed this morning, waking up that he had been sacked. I can't believe it.
I cannot believe it. I mean, Napoli just scored a fourth, Jason, as well. So maybe Klopp is going to get the sack. I sure as hell hope not. But I cannot believe that they sacked him. I really can't. I don't get it. I don't think it makes any sense to me. I mean, I do think that it sounds like Graham Potter is going to leave Brighton, and he's going to be the Chelsea manager. It's like a done deal right now. And I'm surprised by that. I think that, Potter is a nice inclusion to Chelsea, but is he that much of a step up to Tuchel? I mean,
not when you get Pochettino. He's out there. I'd rather go out and grab a Pochettino than Graham Potter. And I love Graham Potter. We both speak highly of Brighton. Graham Potter's a part of that, but go get a Pochettino.
I mean, yeah, Pochettino. I mean, anybody. I thought that Tuchel is still like a top 10 manager in the world. So I'm just shocked. I don't think that he's to blame for this, really. I think that they wanted to buy some player. I think that the summer business just went so funky. Everything really with the club, with Chelsea over the last 12 months, when you look back to the Abramovich, the Russia-Ukraine incident, things like that, selling off the club to American investors, it's just been turmoil. I mean, he comes in from Frank Lampard. He wins the Champions League in a half season, and then it's just kind of been from there. But I don't think it's been his fault. So I kind of feel bad for Tuchel here.
Yeah, it just feels like new ownership come in. Unfortunately, he hits a slide in the very early of the new regime, and he ends up getting sacked. They'll be able to go out and pick their guy now. You also got a Bungyang, though. He came over, though, his relationships with Tuchel and Bournemouth. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in that dressing room now as they patch it together. Maybe we'll get news of that Graham Potter news coming up. But you're taking on Fulham here. Still like Fulham scoring. Everybody else is scoring against Chelsea. So certainly why not Fulham? They've scored in their games. Chelsea's also probably scoring. You get both teams to score in this fixture at minus 140. I like it.
Yeah. This is one where this is a tricky match for Chelsea. Will there be changes? Because I know, for example, someone like Christian Pulisic is not happy at Chelsea right now. He wanted to leave the club. He wants to play more often. Tuchel was never playing him. So now that this comes into play, it's like, well, maybe he might start in this match. So really nothing for me here just because of the managerial sack. I want nothing to do with it for right now. Would need to be waking up early at the 7 a.m. time, checking some lineups and betting from there. But I do think that you're on a different, a nice angle here. I think that I'd be backing Fulham. I'd be back in the home side just from watching what they did to Liverpool in match day 1 and what they've continued to do, Jason. They're high energy, high octane. They press you. They're going to cause Chelsea some problems. We saw what happened when Leeds pressed Chelsea just a couple weeks ago. That was a road match for Chelsea. And I could see, Fulham being very interesting this week. I would be looking towards right now with all the turmoil in the club and everything. I'd be looking at Fulham double chance.
Yeah, I mean, even without the big recent turmoil, they didn't do much yesterday up against Dynamo in the Champions League. So, yeah, maybe Fulham's a good look this week. Let's go ahead and look at Bournemouth versus Brighton. We talk about Graham Potter. You got to talk about him again. And I didn't know that it was a done deal. I thought maybe they was going to talk about him, Pochettino, maybe Zidane. So this news upsets me. Otherwise, I like Brighton on the money line here. Certainly at minus 125, they're the better team. What's there not to like about Brighton? And Wolves doesn't score at home. I like Brighton's defense a whole lot. I see Brighton winning this game.
Yeah, I can see Brighton winning this game. This is another tough one. I mean, this with what's going on right now in the league and just this coaching carousel, which is also just another thing I think it's down to like the transfer window shutting so late, Jason. I mean, like these teams are still making moves. It just they're not. A lot of these clubs feel like the season hasn't even started yet. It's a weird year. We would have already had an international break right here. This is normally the international break time.
Yeah.
And now, because I was just looking at, when is Konate going to come back for Liverpool kind of thing, because they really need him.
Right.
And, normally he'd be ready to go here, like after this first international break. And now he has to wait more and, like he's going to miss like 4 more matches because of this. Like it's just a long opening stretch to the season. And so, yeah, I mean, with this like coaching carousel that's going on, like Brighton's manager going to Chelsea, like I don't know what to think of it really. Bournemouth have been decent at home. I mean, they avoided defeat against Villa and Wolves. And Brighton are kind of on that tier. They're a little bit better than probably both of those clubs offensively.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, this probably looks like an under 2.5. I mean, I don't think there's going to be a ton of goals in this one.
I mean, Brighton's already won 2 of their 3, road fixtures. They picked up 2 in 2 of the 3 games. So, Okay. All right. Maybe there's the next one here. We've got Leicester taking on Villa. I could not see goals at another Leicester match. They got rolled over a fortnight ago against Brighton. Watch that game. Leicester's defense is in shambles, absolutely shambles again. Ndidi is not a center back. Just need to go ahead and give up on that. And Soyuncu, I'm not seeing him on the injury report. He needs to get immediately into that 11. Indeed, is bad back there. The whole back four is just a mess. Brendan Rodgers, he's got to be – if Tuchel's getting sacked and Leicester's trotting out these performances, but yet Brendan Rodgers is being able to hang around, I don't know. To me, it's over 2.5. Leicester still has enough quality going forward. They always have enough quality going forward. They're getting goals. They get 2 goals against Brighton on the road. It's both teams scoring over 2.5. It's another automatic pull, man. Minus 112. Minus 112.
Minus 112 on that? Let me see. Because
no, I gave it out Sunday or Saturday. Sunday when they were playing Brighton. It was minus 112. I tweeted it out. I'm already on it since Sunday morning.
So it's at plus 1. It's at plus 110 now.
Go back in.
Which is interesting.
Who's not seeing goals at this fixture, Matt? What are you seeing?
I mean, I'm seeing goals here, and I'm just going to not complicate it, and I'm just going to go the over 2.5. I mean, this is one of the best bets on the card. It's just something that you got to continue to ride out with Leicester. Nice attacking front 4. Same with Villa. Villa have the capabilities to score a goal here. I do think that both teams find the back of the net. This one pushes over the 2.5. This is a clear cut for me. I don't know who's going to win this match, but I do think that there are goals here.
Yeah. People talk about other sports. They want to talk about baseball right now. They're like, yeah, give me a winner or give me an over-under. This one, I don't know who's going to win the game, but I'm seeing the over hit. So we're all seeing goals in this one. So, all right, let's move over to the next picture. Liverpool taking on Wolves. Obviously, Liverpool is in action right now. Still assume I have 4-0 score line, I would imagine. This one, though, if you look at the head-to-head, Matt, and previous seasons here, you've been on Wolves, like you've liked them at a margin, but that's when it's at the Molineux, because at the Molineux they keep it close, but at Anfield, Liverpool always has the upper hand. Terrible form, 4-0 to Napoli. You'll probably, don't hurt me too much, but I am holding on to a Napoli double chance ticket. I thought Liverpool was vulnerable here on the road, but at home at Anfield, I probably like them. They're probably a parlay piece, scrape it across. What about you?
Yeah, scraping across, which is like if they throw out the same kind of lineup that they threw out today against Napoli, which it looks like it will be, because a lot of these players are still just injured. And if you're going to give me like a Harvey Elliott and Milner, and I mean, like Thiago is back in the subs today. If he starts, that's something. But I still look at this and I'm like, giving me 1 3/4 goals with Wolves on a head start here with a Liverpool that's out of form and struggling in front of net, and you get a really solid counter-attacking Wolves. I want to be with Wolves. I don't want anything to do with Liverpool right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, man, crazy times. I mean, they've been wrecking everybody's parlay. Go ahead and start the season. You guys got some great suggestions there in the comment section. You go see Wolves on the double chance popping in there. Yeah, they hear you, Matt. They like maybe by a margin, but where you're on the margin, but either way.
Yeah.
Well, Liverpool, they're going to be taken for it. All right, let's move over now. What we got? Southampton taking on Brentford. This one's another one. Probably not interested in picking a winner, but I see goals. I think both of these teams can certainly score. Brentford scored in all of their away fixtures so far. Southampton scored in all of their home fixtures, but one. With the one being against United, when they just caught United, not early United, they've caught United, really in their good form. So I like goals. I think both teams will score over 2.5. They've both cashed at 4-2 on the season. I see goals again, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, this is the other team. It's kind of Leicester and it's kind of Brentford that I just want to keep riding out. I mean, Brentford keeps scoring goals. Ivan Toney, brilliant. Wouldn't talk anyone off of betting him to score a goal in this one at plus 170. I think that he's just in fine form, and he's a guy that you want to be backing in that kind of sense. So, he had a hat trick last week, and it just it's a no complicated same line as the Leicester Villa match. Southampton Brentford over 2.5 goals at minus 120.
Yeah, this one minus 120. I got it just before a little bit. Barstool's has it minus 120. Bet Rivers all of them minus 120.
Okay.
Yep, got that. All right, cool. Let's see another one we agree on here, Matt, with Manchester City taking on Tottenham. This one's the Saturday afternoon lunch, maybe late morning to you, wherever you're going on. To me, I can't ignore what last season's success with Conte and everything with Spurs taking on City. Results in both of them. I can't ignore that, Matt.
No, you can't. This is a tricky one, but I still think that I'm surprised. I didn't really catch much of the City Villa match, but cannot believe that Villa were able to scrape out a point there. I thought that was obviously really impressive. Haaland still keeps finding the back of the net. So, there's no real reason to go away from someone like him. He's just on fire, and he's maybe when you look up and down the card and you're trying to find your angles, you might just go to him and think, this is probably the best bet maybe on the entire card, that Erling Haaland finds the back of the net. So he's at minus 175 here in this one, but you can go to some other different types of angles that we've talked about here on the show. And for him to score with his left foot is a much better price than minus 175 that is on Barstool. I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's see here.
Definitely, though, from the team perspective, though, Tottenham has what it takes to hit City on the counter. They absolutely can punish City on the counter. Just look what they did, last season at the Etihad. They had 29% of the ball, yet they won the game 3-2. Son and Kane coming at you. That's not what you want. City or Spurs can absolutely – they can do it. I don't think by no means a City like a parlay piece or anything this weekend. I like Tottenham here in this spot. I think they can get a point probably at worst here. So see goals then. See goals probably in this. See Spurs a couple on the counter, City a couple in possession. They're going to get 75% of the ball.
Yeah, I think that Spurs will be able to add to this total in a sense, and so yeah, over 3.5 at plus 125 seems like a decent move here. It should be goals, and I think that City will show their quality. I think that they're still a whole nother level than Spurs, but I wouldn't want to back them minus 1.5 here. I would be looking more towards the total over 3.25 plus 102. I think that you're right.
Like
I think that Spurs can contribute. There's just been a couple little Spurs results that they haven't been that strong. They're winning, which is good, and they're staying. They're at least keeping that mojo going. But the way that they're winning hasn't been that impressive to me recently. I think that scraping by Fulham, that was decent. The West Ham one, I thought they could have lost there. Forest were all over them. I don't know, just some things. I think that City are still another level.
Are they? I know you're tracking that Liverpool school. Is Tottenham found the back of the net yet?
They have not. Marseille has a red card, and it's still 0-0 right now with 30 minutes to play.
Sometimes that red card hurts you though, right? Because then they just pack it in even more. So those go both ways.
Absolutely. Generally, it tends to lean itself to unders when those happen.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Let's move over now to the Sunday fixtures. This is to kick it off right here with Arsenal versus Everton. At least when you look at the 10 games, if I've got to pick a winner, I feel confident. Like, this is the game. I can at least pluck Arsenal out. Like, if you need a winner, a mixed team parlay or something. Arsenal, of course, I think this is just a perfect opponent to just get the nice bounce back against. Coming at home with it being at the Emirates, their games are averaging 3.4 goals per game. Everton, we know they're low. They're at 1.7. Everton may keep it close, and Arsenal may have to scrape it by, but they're scraping it by. To me, they're getting the 3 points at home.
They're getting the 3 points here. I think this is a perfect little bounce back spot for Arsenal after, a tough road match at Old Trafford where they didn't impress really. But yeah, I think that this is it's a decent bounce back spot. Minus 305. Like, I don't really want to get on that minus 1.5 either. I mean, this is just you have to admit, Jason, this is a pretty tough card here. I think just all around, there's not a lot that's piquing my interest. There is one that's coming up. It's actually probably my favorite. It's the one that I have circled the most. It's my 2-unit play. So, yeah, Arsenal should get the job done here. I mean, finding a way to get like Jesus maybe and Arsenal to win, something like that, because he's in great form. But Everton will be feisty, and they'll pack it in here, and they've been decent on the counterattack. So,
yeah, to me, I wouldn't get cute though and do anything by a margin for me. They're a parlay piece at, what is it, minus like 300? That's fine. So if you need another minus 300, maybe in another sport, I'm not messing around with any margin. Everton is going to keep it low scoring.
Yep.
Games are averaging 1.7. So, all right, we got to let me know where this 2-unit banker is. I'll just let you lead off whatever game that is. I want to hear it. So let me know which one. The next one we do have on the card, it's West Ham taking on Newcastle. This one, bad. We've talked about a lot of overs there in the Leicester and Brentford games. This one, I think, kind of screams the under. I have a hard time seeing goals. They're only averaging 2.2 and 1.8 goals per game, respectively. I'm not impressed much. I love, obviously, Nick Pope. I don't know. West Ham are 1-2 at home. That's the thing. But then when you look at it, they play Tottenham, City, and Brighton.
So where do you think I'm going here, Jason?
I don't know which game. I have to.
It's this one. It's Newcastle and West Ham.
Oh, it's this game? You'd like it, Newcastle.
You think I like Newcastle?
No, you like your West Ham? This is your spot because there are 3 home teams have been your Brighton, your City, and your Tottenham. So this
is a West Ham spot for me personally because – yeah, one, they're at home, and then they just have this. They have this rest and injury advantage to me, like with the no maximum, Bruno Guimaraes, Callum Wilson still kind of injured a bit, basically, and then I'm seeing kind of late fitness test on Skamaka, late fitness test on Souček.
You're saying under 2.5, which is my bet. I love it. Basically,
yeah. I don't mind that. I think that's. I think that this is an under. I do, but I do think that the right team is favorite here. I think that West Ham are better. I do. I match these two teams up on paper, and what I think I'm going to get. You're kind of doing a little bit of guesswork on some of these injuries, but I'm pretty confident that we're not going to see Guimaraes or Maximum here, which is positive news. And then it looks like Skamaka is going to go. If I get Souček in there as well, like that's normally how I do these things is like right now, today, I like West Ham. And I think that the line could move towards them. So like what I like is I like West Ham draw no bet at minus 125 to minus 130, depending on where you're looking. And then it turns into the 2-unit banker, for example, if I can get some Skamaka, Souček, like even if like Cresswell. So here's the latest clippings from the press conference. We're still waiting to see how Skamaka and Cresswell are. It'll be late decisions for both of them. But it looks like at least Skamaka is going to go. And then Souček is also a late fitness test with a little foot injury as well. But like those are like the little things here where that's what turns it in. If I can get Souček and Skamaka in this, like even if they're on the bench, even if Skamaka's on the bench, that'll help me a lot to the point where I think that they're flat out better than Newcastle with Newcastle's injuries right now.
All right, so you're taking the West Ham.
Yep.
But we said we both like under 2.5. So let's just get a good 1-0, 2-0 result. I'd love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. All right, let's move over now to Crystal Palace against Manchester United. Palace got a result in the last two home fixtures, and United with the win and a draw. The last two teams, the last two times these teams have hooked up here at Selhurst Park. Under 2.5 goals is cashed in the last three home fixtures here against United. To me, Matt, I want to see. Obviously, I'm a United fan. I want to see United against Thursday just to see if they can continue bringing it when it's in another competition. Because if they can go in Europa League on Thursday, get a nice solid result and performance, but more of the performance, not really the result, I think they'll have a chance to probably then carry that over into another competition. Because when you're early, you know how they feel like they're just new competitions, even when it's early. But when it's December, I think Palace could maybe catch United. I want to see what they do Thursday, but I'm liking United early.
Yeah, I mean, United are in a great place right now, but then you're coming up against somebody in Palace who they look good against Arsenal. They looked really good against Liverpool, and they looked good for about 60 minutes against Man City. So they've already come up against three big guns. So I'm thinking that we might want to start getting on Palace after this rough stretch that they've kind of it's just been a tough schedule starter for them.
Yeah.
Got them right against Villa. That felt really good on that one. So when they come up against one of those kind of clubs again, I'm going to start looking at their schedule here pretty soon. This one is, God, this is a tough one again, Jason. I know. It is, because Palace are so dangerous at home. They've got the quality to hurt United, but United are in this really great way right now. And it looks like Ten Hag's philosophies are being adapted to. It looks like some of the players that he signed, like Antony, coming off, scoring on his debut. That's really, really.
I'm sure you bet it, right? You bet every other player's debut. I know you bet it on the side. You had money on them.
I had a little side action on it. I mean, I love debut goals. I mean, they're the most fun because the player is just so amped up.
Yeah.
Even Simeone's son just scored on his Champions League debut against Liverpool. There, he came off the bench for Albion, scores 2 minutes later, and the guy's just the guy's crying on the sidelines,
oh man,
there's a debut goal for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one again, I think that you have a good one here in terms of the head-to-heads. This one being unders.
Yeah.
We cashed here on Pub Sports last week on an under live with United and Leicester. You're the one that really kind of put that one into motion. You say, look, they're bringing Casemiro on. We're going to try to solidify this W. And they did.
Shut it down.
Exactly what they did.
Shut it down.
There was barely any chances for the entire match. So, I think that they're kind of unders right now. So, yeah, that's where I would be going. I would not want to be on a side in this one.
And just to make it even more difficult, both of these clubs average 2.7 goals per game in their fixtures. So bang on. Yeah, it's a tough one right here. See what they do Thursday night. Let's move over to the Monday fixture. It's the last one here. It's Leeds taking on Nottingham. I mean, can Nottingham score? They've only scored 4 goals in 6 fixtures so far. It's been tough. They've conceded 14. Leeds has conceded 10, probably taking over 2.5. Of course, Monday, not going to rush into a bet quite yet, but I'm taking under 2.5 here, on Wednesday afternoon, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Leeds, a lot of people probably do draw themselves to this high octane where they do have matches where their totals fly over, but yeah, this one is so tough to predict on a Monday or on a Wednesday for a Monday match. Forest, like you mentioned, kind of in a bad light. Mm-hmm. And I want to be with Leeds at home. We've kind of mentioned that over the last month. I think that Leeds are a brilliant bet generally at home. The books kind of think so here too. -132 on Leeds. I'm a bit surprised that it's not more closer to even money in this one. So I'd be back in home team or nothing here. Just a little bit more continuity. The atmosphere is so big. And Forest just, kind of in a bad way right now. Still early on in the season with Forest with all of their new signings. That's an example for we were just kind of talking about at the beginning of the show, Jason, how this transfer window and this season has been different than any other season over the past decade, basically, because this Qatar World Cup.
Yeah.
And now Forest are kind of in this tough position right here because this early stretch continues to drag on with all of these new players. So, yeah, this would be probably the right time to pick on a Forest and the right time to back Leeds at home. So yeah, I would be picking home team.
Remember last week, that was the game we were on opposite ends of. You were on Forest and I was on Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
It was just funny because after you were just talking about it, like the next day sent the tweet out, was Forest had 21 players come in and 22 players go out. So like when you were saying like those players don't know the head to head. So yeah, they're still gelling here.
That was a nice comeback too. Weren't they down 2-0?
Yeah, they were. I thought you were going to give me a bunch of. I thought you were going to give me a bunch of stick for it. They came back and got the 3-2 win, not just a draw, coming all the way back.
No, all the way back, all the way.
All the way back. Love to see it. Any more? Yeah, I'd love to see it. All right, guys, there it is. Match week number 7. You've been hanging out with us here on EPL Pub and Pub Sports Radio. There's lots of good bets coming in those comment sections. Good luck. We'll obviously come back next week for match week number 8. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you can get all the great content here on Pub Sports Radio. We'll see you on the next one.